This message is just for you. You are good enough. This is the episode for you. Today and every day this week, we are going to be talking about a topic that I know so many of us struggle with, and that is, how do I deal with self-comparison in my language learning? How do I stop looking at everybody around me, everybody in my class, everyone online, and stop just feeling less than them? How do I stop feeling behind what feels like everybody else? And so one of the things that comes up a lot in my work is the question of how to deal with the problem of comparison. And I've found that actually it's surprisingly hard to find really good advice about it. If you Google that you struggle with self-comparison, one of the biggest problems with the results that come up is that a lot of the advice is actually about very general comparison, scrolling through social media and seeing one person who's on holiday in a beautiful city, someone else over there just got engaged, this person's just bought a house, someone's celebrating their promotion, and then just seeing this parade of endless examples of people who you think are more beautiful, more fashionable, wealthier, luckier, and the advice there is just, unplug from that. Get off the social media or unfollow the accounts that make us feel inferior. And then other people are coming back by labouring the uselessness of comparison, saying that we need to recognise that it's bad for us and it's unproductive, and then, basically we'll just stop doing it. And then other people again are telling us that if we were 100% dedicated and passionate about our own goals, we'd have no time and no headspace to spend looking at other people. But I'm not sure that much of that really applies to language learning. Because the thing is, as language learners, our comparisons aren't just whatever random good things are happening in other people's lives, whether they're the same dreams that we're also chasing or not, they're specific. And when self-comparison and personal development overlap, it's really easy to tell ourselves that we're doing comparison because the secret to our success, the thing that's standing between us and our goals, is whatever it is that this person knows that we don't. The thing we've all heard that says we're on our own journey and we should keep our eyes on our own lane, actually we can really quickly counter that by telling ourselves that we're learning from these people because that is how we can be who we want to be. The road might be a bit different, but the destination is very similar and they look like they know the shortcuts. So what are we supposed to do? And again, this is just a conversation that I'm starting this week with myself and hopefully with you. So I would love it if you leave your own thoughts and comments down below. I can't wait to hear what you think. But this week, I'm going to be sharing 5 different ways to help us to be in the language circles, to mix with the people, engage with the content without the self-comparison goblin rearing its ugly head and throwing you off course. So to kick off this week, I want to share some really simple advice for if you need motivation or you need inspiration, but you don't need the dose of self-comparison that goes with it. And that is, think similar but different. Take your inspiration from people who are on similar but different journeys. So if you need help with motivation and discipline and habit setting, look to people training for a medical degree. Look to people training for marathons, studying for law exams. Follow some personal trainers. Whatever it is that feels close enough to resonate with you and your current difficulties, but far away enough from what you are trying to achieve that it's not just going to wake up that voice that says, but you should be doing that too, or trigger you into feeling guilty rather than inspired. And if you need help with general language learning concepts and methods, look to people studying another language than you. Or maybe look to people doing memory training or revising for something completely different. If you need help with the intermediate plateau of language learning, look up writer's block. Look up the concept of the messy middle in the creative industries and entrepreneurship, because fundamentally there are a lot of similarities there. And if you want content to help you deal with uncertainty, deal with being on a long road where you don't really know where you're going or what you're doing, look up the quarter life crisis. It doesn't matter how old you are. Or look up the experiences of people working towards making it as artists or building unconventional, pathless lives for themselves. Do you know how much I lent on a YouTube channel called Film Courage during the time when I was doing the worst bits of rebuilding my life? It's a channel aimed at screenwriters and documentary producers, and I have never personally thought about filmmaking. Years of watching it and I'm still not personally thinking about filmmaking, but we all know that the film industry, for the vast majority of people trying to enter it, is a long road, it's an uncertain road, and it's a road that requires a lot of sacrifice and slow rewards. So it needs you to find joy along the way, sit with the doubt, and find that balance between living and waiting. And it was so full of wisdom to help me do that. So if there is one takeaway from this episode, it's think similar but different. The wisdom that shines through is often so helpful and so applicable to your own road, even if the goals look completely different from the outside. And sometimes the wisdom comes easier when it comes from people who don't feel like your competitors. So if the language learning circles are just too much right now, look at your language problem or the thing that you're struggling with and think who else might be struggling with something similar, something comparable, and then go and find those people, find those communities, find that advice and support. As counterintuitive as it sounds, sometimes moving out of your sphere is the best way to feel less alone. And it's amazing how often the key to solving your language problems lies outside of the language learning world at all. And then you can bring all that wisdom from your language learning journey and pour it onto all the other aspects of your life. Good luck today, language learners. I know the road is long, but you can do this. You are doing this. And as much as you look up to other people, there will be other people looking up to you and wishing that they were where you are in your language learning. I'm gonna put another video up today with an announcement for a brand new and exciting project that I'm undertaking, so keep an eye out for that. Best of luck, and I will see you back here tomorrow.